Keeping it real, who that sports pod, legendary coach Rock, go 17, let's rock. Who that? Boss kick, black and gold, let's go. First and goal, from the one, let's believe, we go punch. Punching in, get them punch, with them Saints, watch us march. Down the field, down your throat, keeping it real, who that sports. Who that nation, how you doing? Come on in. Take a seat, sit back, relax, put your feet up, grab a drink, and let's talk Saints football. Y'all know what time it is. Time to keep it real. Let's go. Family, family, family. The doors are now open. So come on in. What's going on, family? I want to welcome everybody to the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast, brought to you by the Come On In Sports Network. I'm your host, Dolph Jackson. Hope everybody's Sunday is off to a great start. Hope you're having a great weekend, family. Not gonna keep it long, family. Just gonna go over some of the latest news with our New Orleans Saints. And we're gonna take a look at Pro Football Sports Network's latest article, which was published on March the 21st, as they predict the Saints to take the best player available in the first round of this April's draft. And they got the Saints predicted to take a stud player. And you probably can figure out who that player is, but we'll get into that article before we get out of here. Keeping it real, who that sports pod, legendary coach Rock, go 17, let's rock. All right, family, let's rock. Let's get into it now, family. The Saints have been bringing players back home, baby. They have been reaching back in the past, baby. They have been going back to the future. And one of the players that the Saints brought back, he just left a season ago, 2 years ago. He got a couple starts due to injuries. And Isaac Yiadom is back in the black and gold. Of course, we touched on this last week, but Isaac Yiadom is back. So the Saints just keep going back to the past. So that is, family, Isaac Yiadom is back in the black and gold. Isaac Yiadom, his career total is 204 tackles, 32 passes defense, 3 forced fumble, 1 INT, and of course that 1 INT came when he was a member of the black and gold. And listen, Isaac Yiadom adds depth to the Saints secondary, but of course the New Orleans Saints still can use help in that secondary. Like you, family, I am pretty sure that the Saints are not finished and adding to the secondary help. Look for help coming in form of undrafted free agents during the draft, or maybe the Saints get a steal, find someone that they really like, and they take in day 2. That's right, possibly day 2. Look for a defensive back, possibly in day 2 of the NFL draft for the Saints, or day 3. We know also, I say day 2 because the Saints do have 2 third-round picks currently as we sit here now for day 2 of the NFL draft. So the Saints can still use another young safety. Speaking of young safeties, to me, this is a big season for safety Jordan Howden. Jordan Howden must become a more consistent player. He must stand out more. He must make his presence felt more. He must make us take notice of him like we did when no one really expected much from this young man when he was a 5th round pick out of the University of Minnesota. But he came in, he turned heads, he earned playing time. And listen, he was becoming a fan favorite, and he was looked upon as being an heir apparent in that secondary to Tyrann Mathieu. But now it's time for him to take that next step. The last couple seasons have been kind of standstillish for him. Now, he hasn't taken a huge leap forward, but I wouldn't say that he has digressed much either. So Jordan Howden, to me, this is a big season for Jordan Howden. We know Justin Reed was brought in, so Tyrann and Justin Reed, and Jordan Howland is your third safety right now, I feel pretty good about. But the Saints still need safety help. They still need corner help. Is Isaac Yiadom your starting safety? Is Isaac Yiadom your starting cornerback? Will we be leaving Alontae Taylor on the outside, or will we put him back on the inside? We know that Alontae wants to play on the outside, but my God, the kid was developing on the inside, and he was becoming one of the better slot defenders in the National Football League. I think he needs to look at that. But listen, whatever his strong suit is, whatever lining him up on the field enhances his talent and his ability to produce for the Saints, I'm for it. But I'm just saying, in the slot, he looked real good. Maybe the Saints go in the draft and they take a cornerback in the second round, or they surprise us and take a cornerback with their 9th pick. If they stay at 9, if there was ever a season for the Saints to trade back, this could be the year, family. So Isaac Yiadom is one of the Saints from the past that is brought back, but the Saints were not finished there. Oh, look who is back, baby. That's right, he is back. Oregon State's own former Saints first-round pick, Brandon Closed Mouths Don't Get Fed Cooks is back, baby. He is back in the black and gold, still productive receiver. Listen, I don't know why Brandon Cook can't stick nowhere. He's just been a productive receiver his entire career. Look at the numbers for Brandon Cooks. Now, respectfully, I didn't realize that Brandon Cooks is damn near a 10,000-yard receiver for his career. Damn near 10,000 yards for his career. He has averaged over 13 yards per reception. The man has 60 touchdowns and 710 receptions. Hall of Fame credentials, borderline Hall of Fame credentials. If he stays healthy this season, he will be making the Hall of Fame. Could have opportunity to make the.
Keeping it real, Who That Sports Pod, legendary Coach Rock, Dog 17. Let's rock.
So what does the addition of Brandon Cooks mean? Some are speculating that the signing of Cook could potentially be setting up a big trade involving Chris Olave. Those trade rumors just do not want to go away about Chris Olave. I, for one, do not see it. But with the signing of Brandon Cooks, you do have 3 receivers similar, and he, Olave, and now Cooks. You're still missing that big body receiver, that big 6'2", 6'3", 220-pound receiver, able to get those tough catches, those 50-50 balls, those contested catches, that big target in the middle. But then again, are you really missing that? Or could this guy who was brought back, could he be, no, not Velus, but Juwan Johnson? I know a lot of us are up in our feelings about Juwan Johnson. Remember, Juwan Johnson was not a first-round, second, or third-round pick. He was an undrafted free agent. He was a wide receiver who was switched to tight end, made his mark at tight end with the Saints, earned a contract with the Saints. For his career, 146 receptions, 1,622 yards, 18 touchdowns, and he is averaging 11 yards per reception. The thing with Juwan Johnson is this: consistency. We need more consistency. You give us flashes of the brilliance of how explosive and how big of a matchup problem you can be, but we need more consistency. And like I asked my co-host, Coach Rock, is the lack of consistency on Juwan Johnson, or has it been on his offensive coordinators for failing to get him more involved in the game week in and week out? And in other words, I'm trying to say, family, I'm getting tongue twisted. I'm trying to say basically just has the former offensive coordinators, they failed in implementing him more into the game plan in a week in and week out basis during their tenure here with the during his tenure here with the New Orleans Saints. Now, Juwan Johnson had other offers. He could have left, but he talked to Kellen Moore. He liked what he heard. he wants to come back. Maybe Kellen Moore sees Juwan Johnson as his Dallas Goedert and sees a way to use him. Now, let's remember, Dallas Goedert is a very good tight end. But Juwan Johnson I'm going to say Juwan Johnson is a more athletic tight end than Dallas Goedert. So we will see how that goes, family. But Juwan Johnson is brought back in the building for the Saints. Juwan Johnson, Isaac Yiadom, Brandon Cooks back. Now, under the radar signing, let's go back to it, is this young man here from the former University of Tennessee volunteer, Velus Jones Jr. For his career, 20 rushes, 165 yards, 12 catches, 135 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's a former third-round pick of the Bears. He was let go by the Bears, picked up, spent time with the Panthers. They released him. The Saints signed him. Now, he was classified as a wide receiver, but the Saints signed him, and they classify him as a running back. So he's a big running back. He's over 200 pounds. So Velus Jones Jr. is another new member of the Black and Gold. Listen, all these signings, we have to see right now. Coach Moore is cooking up the gumbo. He's putting all the spices. He's putting all the ingredients in the gumbo. We got to see how this brew of gumbo turns out. But right now, there are some interesting ingredients that the Saints keep throwing into the pot of the 2025 gumbo season for the New Orleans Saints. All right, family, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
To the right hand, intercept.
The Cover is Sports Network.
Welcome back, family. All right, family, let's go and take a look at this article from ProFootballNetwork.com as they are predicting that the Saints, with the 9th pick of this year's NFL draft, will take a stud player. So let's just see who that player is. And this article was written March the 21st, as I mentioned. Pro Football Network. .com is a good site to go to, family. Stay up with the latest news around the New Orleans Saints and the entire NFL. So here we go, family. The New Orleans Saints have a multitude of directions they could go in the short term. Either they could double down on their insane cap spending and continue down the path with Derek Carr as their quarterback. Alternatively, they commit to a full reset and have a new outlook in a couple of years. So far, off-season moves haven't given any indication which direction the team would choose to go in, but one analyst believes their indecision shouldn't affect their draft strategy. Rather than debating between fits and positional needs, he argues that New Orleans should look at the best player available. Last year, an explosive first 2 weeks for the Saints didn't stand the test of time. After that surprise start, the Saints cooled down in rapid fashion, eventually ended the season with a 5-12 record. On either end, the team just wasn't very good. There is a possibility they replace Carr or add defensive help to the unit, ranked 19th on Pro Football Sports Network's defensive plus metric last season. However, another area of focus is on the offense around Carr. With no player recording more than tight end Juwan Johnson's 548 receiving yards, reputed NFL draft analyst Todd McShay is considering all the possibilities with New Orleans and the 9th overall pick. First and foremost, there is the potential addition of a quarterback. Let me get that up. That's that one time. Okay, here we go. I've gave serious consideration to Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart with this pick. This is what Todd McShay said. Even though the Saints just restructured Derek Carr's deal to secure him for another year, don't rule out quarterback. I don't like Tyler Shuck from Louisville or another passer in round 2. But they could also move back to build up their draft capital and add multiple young, cheap players to the squad. New Orleans could also move back if it gets a reasonable offer, McShay notes. However, even with those needs, McShay believes their offense could use the most help. Help arrives in the form of Tyler Warren of Penn State. But since their biggest needs are at pass catcher, interior offensive line and defensive line, I gave the Saints Warren, who I have graded considerably higher than the next best player at those positions. It appears to be a confusing choice from the veteran analysts, considering New Orleans already boasts a plethora of strong rotational tight ends on the roster. However, McShay believes Warren's youth trumps any potential concerns about overabundance at the position. New Orleans just re-signed tight end Juwan Johnson, who led the team in receptions last year, despite being hurt. Juwan Johnson led us in receptions last year and yards. In fact, the Saints' 3 leading receivers last year were Johnson, Kamara, and Foster Monroe. Swiss Army knife Taysom Hill had 23 catches in just 8 games he played, but those players are all aging, and Warren was stepping immediately as the top target and become a significant upgrade over Monroe. The Nittany line, Warren was a modest contributor over his first 3 seasons. However, in his senior year, he exploded to the tune of 1,233 yards and 8 touchdowns receiving, while adding 218 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns to his tally as well. It brought him to an impressive 25 touchdowns in his collegiate career and rocketed him up mock boards. Even Pro Football Sports Network's latest mock draft, he is gone in the first round. However, he drops 5 spots from McShay's prediction, instead joining Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, joining the Anthony Richardson-Daniel Jones combo in Indianapolis. Instead, the 19th-ranked defense gets a major boost, with Reese Decker predicting edge rusher Mykal Williams as a perfect replacement for franchise legend Cam Jordan. While both sides of football need help in New Orleans, adding some defensive help might be the perfect solution, both in the short and long term. All right, family. So, Tyler Warren, family, as you see, this past season was the year that he exploded, really exploded onto the scenes. He's rocketing up the boards right now. So, what is it about Tyler Warren? If you watch this young man this season with Penn State, you know he was a pivotal part of their offense. He was Mr. Clutch. He was Mr. Big Time. The lights came on for this kid this year. He had a great season. He demonstrated everything you need in a tight end. The ability to threaten the seam, contested catches, 50-50 balls. And he's fluid. He moves really well. I'm really interested in his 40 time coming up at his pro day. But Tyler Warren is the #1 tight end in this class ranked right now. But this is not just a Tyler Warren class. This is a deep class at tight end. So if the Saints are unable or unwilling to select Tyler Warren if he's there at 9, that doesn't mean they will not address the tight end position later on in the draft. Listen, with the uncertainty of Foster Monroe, because we know the injury he has had, Taysom Hill's coming off an injury. Besides, though he's classified as a tight end, we know Taysom is the Swiss Army knife. He is a jack of all trades player. So who is it? Last year's undrafted free agent who everybody was calling a steal, Darlin Hooker, did absolutely nothing to live up to the praise that he was getting. Now, I don't know if it was because of that young man or because of the coaching staff, but he really didn't make an appearance. He didn't jump out anything. So the tight end position, I still, despite re-signing Juwan Johnson. Now listen, if the Saints are able to get Tyler Warren in the building along with Jawan Johnson and Foster Moreau comes back healthy and a healthy Taysom Hill, though he's classified as a tight end, we know Taysom lines up everywhere, then that room looks really good then. It looks really good in my estimation. All right, family, listen, I want to remind you to join us next week, family. We'll be having our first mock draft 1.0 on the Come On In Sports Network. Join myself, Lawrence, Jeremy, Carlos. Coach will make an appearance. Look for Zach to make an appearance. Cowboy make an appearance. We all will be in the building, family. 9 may make an appearance, though 9 doesn't like knowing my drafts, but he might make an appearance anyway. Remember, Come On In Sports Network next Sunday afternoon, family. We're going to be on at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern time, getting you ready with our first official mock draft, NFL mock draft. That's right, we're going the entire first round of the NFL draft. And we're going to break it down what teams are needing right now after free agent. So we're going to try to match up the best prospect with the team that's on the clock. Looking forward to that next week. We will be having the lines open, family. So please join in, hit that link, join in. We want to know your thoughts, how you're feeling about your team. But Black and Gold, baby, Who Dat Nation, we got to hear from you, baby. Hit that link. You already know. If this is your first time, subscribe to the Keeping It Real Who Dat Sports Podcast. If you're a true Who Dat, baby, if you bleed black and gold, baby, this is one of the places to be, baby. And like I always say, family, the doors are now open. So come on in. Have a great Sunday, family. And like always, love and Who Dat. And we out.